Hi, folks. You're with Tacitus Today. Tacitus Today, your pushback channel, and thank you for joining this audio radio live stream. In this essay, I'd like to talk about affirmative action, race, gender, quota stuff applying to beach lifeguards. Now, you'd think that would be an area where the fitness bar and the capability to rescue and save people who are in trouble, in the water would be the priority, and that there would be no other priority. But no, absolutely not. So let's have a little look at this. I mean, it's funny in one way, but tragic in another, because I'm sure people are going to die as a consequence of this. But anyway, so the summer's sort of come to an end, and the last little batch of warm days are in Australia at the moment, and so I kind of haven't really been down the beach that much this summer. I've either had been doing things, or busy, or we've been somewhere. So anyway, I thought let's go down the beach. I mean, it was a warm day a few days ago, and it's not a hugely busy. The nearest beach to us is not hugely busy. On a hot summer's day, you'd only have a few hundred people there, unlike some of the beaches that are like closer to the city. The famous Bondi Beach you've probably heard of in Sydney, where you can get like a gazillion people there on a hot day. Nonetheless, so I go to the beach and I noticed there were 12 lifeguards on duty. I thought, wow, I wouldn't have thought they'd have had that many at a beach like this. But so 12 lifeguards, and they were perfect gender, race, or not race, but perfectly gender balanced. They were six men and 6 women. Now, one of the women looked reasonably fit, but I'd sort of put her in her mid-40s. The rest of the women ranged from being, obviously unfit to being seriously mega unfit. The guys, again, maybe one guy I would have been surprised if he made the cut, but the other guys, yeah. So the guys pretty much all made the cut, or would have come close to it. With the women, and it's ranged from girls sort of, I don't know, they look maybe 18 or 19, some of them, but only one of them you would reasonably say could even have a chance of making. This is the fitness cut. Now, I remember the fitness cut, because I was a kid, like at high school and senior high school. Well, I lived not that far from the beach, and so I used to go to the beach quite a bit, and I remember the fitness requirement. How far you had to swim, the time you had to swim that, how you had to be able to swim, like drag somebody maybe who was unconscious or suffering severe cramp, or something like disabled in some way, and you had to be able to drag them along 50 meters while you're swimming. It was really rigorous. Now, I went to do the test, if you like, to be a lifeguard. And I made the cut, but at the end of it, I was so exhausted that I thought, I'm not sure I could really do justice to somebody. If there was someone in genuine difficulty out there, I could get to them, but I wasn't sure I had the stamina to meet the fitness cut. It was that rigorous, and I was a pretty fit kid. Now, I remember there was a girl at school, rather butchy, I thought. Later on became a full-on lesbian. She's pretty fit, quite athletic and everything, but she couldn't make the cut. And she was quite determined to do it. And this was one of the earlier days of lifeguards are a boys' club type. This was one of the earlier sort of, like, the first time I heard those type, wasn't that exactly, but those type of expressions. So she wasn't going in just to be a lifeguard to save lives. She was going in to show those boys the girl power. It was that type of thing. And again, this was years ago, before the insane wokeism we see today. But she couldn't make the cut, and she tried again, as I recall. I'm going back a way here. She tried again and also didn't make the cut. And she was quite put out by this. Now, in her cognizance, but that she wants to do it, that she wants to show the boys up, and that means they should lower the bar for her, especially for her special thing. They should lower the fitness bar. And I remember talking to her at school, well, because she knew that I'd done the thing. Well, why? Why should they lower the fitness bar? You know, your job there is to, and you had to be a volunteer, by the way. Your job there is to save lives. You know, if someone gets in distress, and this, of course, is surf beaches and the ocean in Australia here. So it can be quite, like, if you've got a heavy pounding surf and so on, you have to be really fit to get out there and and really know your stuff. And I didn't think I was up to it. I made the cut, but I just didn't know. I'm just not good enough to do this. I didn't want the idea of, you know, me getting there late or struggling to get back through the surf and somebody dying. I thought, no, someone who's fitter than me needs to do this. So anyway, that was it. So now let's come to the beach just a few days ago. So perfect gender balance, and there's like a beach captain or a beach supervisor that they have. And who's the beach captain? Wait for this. An Indian woman with a thick accent. She hasn't been here long, very thick, and she's a Southern Indian, so very, very dark skinned. And she's the one in charge. She's the boss. Now, this is in an area that's, you know, 98% white, but somehow they managed to find an Indian woman, a recent migrant, no less, and she's now the boss on the beach. I mean, fuck. I mean, seriously. Now, she walks around with that exaggerated third world, you know, I'm a super powerful, omnipotent girl boss. So she strides around with this insane swagger. And now, you know, I'll come back to it in a minute, how the local government and everything's getting involved in this. But she's there as the big boss, and there's the men there. Now, one of the men was, I was going into the water, and one of the male lifeguards was coming out. And so I just quipped gee, a lot of girls as lifeguards. I bet they all met the high bar standard of fitness and life-saving competence. And he shot me a look, and he just laughed and walked off. Now, if you delve into it and start looking through it, they've lowered the bar very, very considerably for women to become, you know, they decided, okay, we have to get race gender balance. How can we get that? We lower the bar again, and we keep on lowering the fucking bar until we get the ideological outcome we want. And hey, that's it. Now, I don't know if these women are for show, like the you know, if there genuinely is a swimmer in distress, is it only one of the fit men that goes out to rescue? Do the girls stand there and cheer and clap and look important and look self-important and stride around with you know, because they're just there really to exhibit, not you know, to exhibit the woke sort of situation and exhibit affirmative. They're not really there to actually. Now, I watched some of these women. Two of them were so unfit that they waddled to the water side. I mean, if somebody was in distress out in the fucking thing, you know, they'd have drowned 10 times over before these girls would get anywhere near them. Now, maybe these girls, given their very generous proportions, maybe they could float well, but just not have the fitness to get anywhere and move. But so I don't see any example that the best, you know, that the fittest, even the fittest women are being you know, as lifeguards. Now, the lifeguards, sometimes you get a bit of travel money or you get a free meal or something, but effectively you're a volunteer. So there's not a lot of well, certainly not riches. There's not a lot of glory to be had or anything like that. Now, the reason a lot of guys used to do it, certainly when I was a kid, was that the chicks used to go crazy over the lifeguards because they were fit guys. You know, they were tanned and so on. And so they used to score a lot of chicks. Well, that was how it was then. I don't know about now, but and I remember there was a lady I used to work with, like she's in her early 20s, and she made no bones about it that she would go to the beach and hang around near the lifeguards because they were so hot, and she was hoping one of them would, want to get intimate with her and that sort of stuff. So there's no question that used to go on, and perhaps still does. But this idea of the woke, why is it that half the lifeguards on duty, haven't met even a low bar of fitness to go and rescue, people in distress? Why do they have a very dark-skinned recent migrant woman in charge, in an area that's 98% white? So just going back through this, so I decided to spend a little bit, which you don't have to spend much time these days. You can get a lot off the internet very quickly. And sure enough, the rate of contributions to surf clubs and life-saving clubs, this sort of thing, used to really be a lot of community contributions. And if you're in the community, you wanted people to be there on the beach, sort of there to rescue you. Not that they were getting paid, to make sure they had the right kit, equipment to get out there, that they had a boat that could get to you quickly, something, the facilities really, and then somewhere to store that equipment and so on. So this used to be community contributions, donations, and the like. This started to change, and a lot of the surf clubs started to become politicized. So there was being used for activism, and so there was if you contributed more than, I can't remember what the cutoff point was, more than $5 or $10, whatever it was, you had to supply your name and address, and things were being posted out to you. So a lot of people didn't like that. They were happy to give a couple of dollars into a tin, somebody shaking a loose change tin, but not when it came down to, you've got to give names and addresses and phone numbers and all that sort of personal details. And a lot of people shied away. So the state government and the local government and NGOs, this is this trifecta of activism, and the NGOs then started to move in to fill the gap for the funding and the donations and the financial contributions to the surf lifeguards. Now, as soon as that happened, that's when the affirmative action and the race gender quotas came in. Well, we can't have this boys' club. We've got to have girls. Well, now we've got to have lesbians. Now we've got to have black lesbians. Well, now we've got to have people with Asperger's. So they just keep on and on going. But each time they add another layer of woke to it, they've got to drop the standards. Now, straight white men are still required to meet the standards. It's only everyone else that has the lower bar. So really, this lifeguards at the beach is a reflection of the wider woke community, whether it be in business or wherever, anywhere now, that you have to apply the very low bar to the woke entrance to get the race and gender grifting and hustling moving along, which they've got here, which gives a look at the absurd. I was sitting there looking and thinking, you've got to be fucking kidding me. Look at these people. I was watching one of the girls in particular, and the way she waddled around. She's so big. She's got to sort of walk with her legs wide apart. This sort of thing. I mean, holy fuck! How does somebody like this? Why would you even want somebody like that? And I can imagine that the council or the woke people who are making the financial contributions to say, okay, and you have to have an obese person, and you have to have that, and and I wouldn't be surprised if they actually put these people forward. We want you to hire this person or give this person, and that the head lifeguard was going, there's no way that person is going to meet the fitness test. I don't give a fuck. Well, we're not in the business of saving people. We're in the business of exhibiting and demonstrating wokeness. And that's what we're doing. And that's what the purpose of this now is. And if you don't like that, then we're going to get rid of you fucking damn fucking Nazi. How dare you oppose this? So it's just there. They're quite prepared for people to die as long as they can push their wokeness and their race grifting and affirmative action and so on. It's fucking insane, seriously. You've been Tacitus today, your Pushback channel. Thank you for listening.